Yeah. Where do you want to start?
we
Where do you
we
want to start?
we got to talk about the breaking news that just happened minutes before we went
Okay.
on air.
Okay.
The Good Brothers just showed back up on Monday Night Raw. It says AJ Styles. Of course, he's been dealing with the Judgment Day faction. In Carl Anderson is there. Carl Anderson is the current never open weight championship holder. He has defended the belt once, I believe, in like 4 months, and against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Ironically, he beat him, and I believe he did
Yeah, like a
not
few
look
weeks ago.
great in that match from all the reviews that I heard on it. Um, so of course the Good Brothers have bounced around Impact, and had a little run in AEW. They've gone to New Japan, picked up titles, lost them, and done interviews talking about mailing it in Impact, which is fucking hilarious. These guys, of course, were like, or Anderson, Gallows really doesn't say much, but Anderson was on Twitter one time getting himself in hot water with the WWE fans, where he was talking about his time there. Of course, he talked about that one time where Triple H, or a lot of people brought this up, and he exposed Triple H's negotiation tactics, where he talked about, I think of your families, and and all this stuff, and what if AEW isn't there, and
And if I remember correctly, he was also like one of the few people that dared say anything that like.
their mental health concern is bullshit.
No, I was gonna say he was like one of the few people that said anything like in regards to alluding to like being on that tarmac forever
Oh
in
yeah,
Saudi Arabia. He's one of
yeah,
the few people.
yeah. So the thing about the Good Brothers is they've always kind of been upfront with this stuff, like as far as like they in it for the check, and we've noted for years on this show how they have picked the best set of friends in wrestling, and they have literally just bouncing between them all like a square at this point. And at this point, Carl Anderson's a never open weight champion. That's the fourth belt in New Japan. Ironically, this comes the same day that New Japan debuted a new championship, which is kind of like they wanted to focus on the youth. They said it's going to be like a higher pace belt. I think it's going to be like the New Japan World Championship. They unveiled it today, and you got to wonder on the timing of this thing. Did New Japan, catch wind of this thing has happened? Is the Never Belt going to disappear into the ether? Is Carl Anderson sending that shit back into FedEx? But I don't know. You got to look at New Japan like strapping up this guy with without his name on a contract. I don't know. New Japan's got a lot going on as they get ready for Wrestle Kingdom. They've got press conferences coming, so I'm sure there's going to be some type of address with this never open weight title. But on his face, this is just this ensures that Gallows and Anderson will be nominated for Jeff Jarrett Finisher of the Year.
Oh my god! Did you try to get them nominated last year? And I was like, no, man, fuck them. Like I'm
They
just
won't
tired.
stop. They are determined.
Do you remember Nas on the Untitled album that like he wanted to call nigger, but
Yes.
like yeah, and then like in one of the skits, was it Lost Poets? At the end of it, he was like, "Niggas are like roaches."
Yes.
Like, bro, Gallows and Anderson are like fucking roaches. They will not die out and go away and fade off into the sunset. They will continue to fester and crawl and latch on forever. And look at it. And look, bro. You know how people used to always talk about certain
And look,
people
and I don't think
were
this is a situation where they are crawling back to WWE
I don't
either.
think so either.
Like, this is WWE. Like,
What if they
want to come back?
What if they get their Shawn Michaels money back? What if they get their Shawn Michaels
They might
deals back?
have.
So that's why that's right. So the thing for me is like it was funny in like the 90s and the 2000s how like we used to talk about people's homeboys and the cronyism of that, and like we say like this person got signed just to be this person's um
Handler.
handler, drug holder, what have you, right? Drinking buddy, whatever. And like you think of it now, and it's like you mean to tell me that Gallows and Anderson has been around the world and back again times 20, right? Off the strength of think about it. AJ Styles and the Young Bucks, right? So not even being like they're drug holders, they're energy drink holders. Are you fucking kidding me? This is ridiculous.
All-time great workers. And we talk about wrestlers being professional liars and, finding the best situations for their talents. These guys got to be Hall of Famers in that regard. Like this, they would have eaten during the territorial era of wrestling. They would have just bounced from place to place. They'd have bounced from Memphis to fucking Mid-South to, to everywhere on the road, the West Coast, AWA, all the way till they got to the show, brother. Like in, Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic, Georgia, Florida, they'd have hit them all for a lick. And ironically, it kind of ties into some other news with Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley re-signed for 5 years with AEW, and he was working without a contract for I don't know how long at this point.
Had to have been a bit of a minute.
Yeah.
I think I heard something about Meltzer saying that like they extended his deal once he went into rehab or whatever else, but that's like about 12 weeks. But he signed about around the time like right before Double or Nothing 2019. So that was May. Doing the math, like he had been out his deal for a minute and working through it. And that wasn't out there. We didn't know that. I never really thought of it. I just remember they like, oh yeah, he signed 3-year deals, and I'm seeing a lot of like WWE pro WWE fans like throwing these hints of the Shield reunion or whatever else. And
a lot
of
fan fiction, a lot of fantasy going on.
And look, Jon Moxley has showed and proved in like regardless of how they treated him, their fandom believed in Dean Ambrose, right? So I don't knock him, I don't blame him, whatever else, right? So like Vince not believing him, that's his fucking fault, right? WWE fans believed in Jon Moxley. I said doing it. Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, Jonathan Good, whatever. So whatever. So that actually was a reason to have some enthusiasm. But it didn't happen, and like he signed a 5-year deal. I mean, 5 years at his age, that could be his last deal. We don't know. He could, then again, he could wrestle forever like Terry fucking Funk, right? But, yeah.
It's going to take him into his 40s.
Right. That's why I said that, like, it could be his last deal, or it could be, like, the first deal before he signs on for the 20. Like, it's fucking Magic Johnson or Bret Hart. But yeah, so
you think about like the dynamics with one guy, like New Japan didn't have Carl Anderson on any type of paper, and he was like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here. I'm going to get whatever." Moxley, kind of a different guy in that regards, didn't want to necessarily use his. He didn't want to pit WWE and AEW against each other. He just kind of wanted to settle it. But think about both guys with titles that could have shown up. In WWE or anywhere else, and that's good. There was almost a big situation that happened because like think about it, he could have showed up to Extreme Rules or some shit as the AEW champion. I don't know if like that was
it's crazy how like they
avoided. Like I don't know if it would ever got that far because I don't think it was a case where they were worried about losing Mox or anything. Rich, it felt like
it's crazy how like his contract ran out, and like
he was able to get those pitches through.
He was able to like still be the champion, and like they didn't bring him on pay-per-view in Cincinnati, and it beat him on a fuck finish. Like it's amazing how that didn't. No. No.
It's incredible, ain't it?
I always told it like you just can't do that. You just can't do that and not have to fuck the guy over. It's amazing.
Yeah. But Carl Anderson, in Gallows, man, nasty individuals, but
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah, always were.
hey, as the great New Jack once said, two less we got to deal with. So, um,
Look, it was interesting to see that like the response was like from what I saw, I didn't see all of it, but like it wasn't exactly like, "Yay, we got one." When Gallows Anderson coming in, it was like
not like 2 Chainz, where he's like, yeah, we got
it,
one.
it was not. It was not like based on the true story. No, not at all. But it was a lot of like, oh, they're back, and I gotta say, like, yeah, I think y'all are too negative. Y'all need to think of it from the perspective of like of the positive side of it, which is like my perspective, which is like they are no longer in New Japan than AEW or Impact or any place I would actually want to watch on a consistent basis. And like for me, like why can't y'all just be happy for me? Because like
right.
Anderson, as y'all affectionately call him, the Big Dang.
Big Dangly, end of an era. I don't know if he's gonna do Big Dangly in WWE. I don't know if the gimmick is transferable.
What is it? What is it? The BTE Anderson gimmick where
Sour
he's like
Boy.
Sour Boy, like Sour Boy and Big Dangly. They back over there, and him and them two and AJ Styles can go out there and do their best Steve Austin impersonations and have a blast together while AJ has to carry them. And that's what AJ wants to do. Happy for him, whatever. I was like I saw people talking about their potential Good Brothers versus Judgment Day, and I had to say like that does not intrigue me in the slightest. Dominic Mysterio, Luke Gallows, who's a worse worker?
Man, Dominic Mysterio versus Luke Gallows. Good Jesus.
Like Gallows got the experience, but he's a sloth. He's as slow as like, bro. The only person I can think of that moves slower than him right now is Aja Kong.
Jesus Christ.
And at least like people can run into Aja Kong and she can still have good matches. How many good matches you have seen Luke Gallows have by himself?
Definitely not one in front of the recently departed Antonio Inoki.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Inoki, he came out and said, "Nah, get him the fuck out of here. Cut in the match."
As T.I. said, all that tongue wrestling hating while I'm gone don't excite me. The Good Brothers do not excite me.
Not at all, bro.
Who are some more wrestlers that Paul Levesque should scoop up to relieve us
of the danger of them showing back up in the rest of the wrestling world?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, because at this rate, what Levesque is doing, he's bringing back just the mid on mid, like, and
so
we're gonna get to Bray Wyatt.
So are we putting on people that like actually on the radar, or people that we just want to see, or we just want to see like
we hope they get their big break
somewhere else?
Look, we hope these people that we would like to see go, we hope they get an opportunity, as Vince McMahon once said.
So are we talking about people that are actually like soon to be free agents, or like people that are like even buy them out the contracts?
Who you want? Buy them out. Ship them over there.
Which one?
Pick up the rest of their deals.
Oh, technical difficulties. Which one, Rich?
You can
hear what I said?
Yeah, you can pick up the rest of their deals.
Oh, I mean, House of Torture.
Send them up.
Send them on down. Nasco Tora. Send them on down. Hyper Masal. Send her on down. I mean,
Matt Hardy. Send them up.
Ooh. Yeah, Matt Hardy had a lot of times in the last like year and a half. Yeah.
Madison Rain, send her up.
Yeah, she's a coach too. She's a coach.
Bad Luck Fale, send them up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yano, get him the fuck out of here.
Yano, send them up.
Go that way. I'm trying to think who in AEW. I mean, Bobby Fish. I know you know
already gone.
He's already gone in Impact. Getting booed in his hometown apparently.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Brian Pillman Jr. Send him up.
Brian Pillman Jr. I don't really got beef with him. He just done for you. You're over it.
Yep. I feel like we would have seen it if it was there.
Ooh.
All right, he's got a pretty solid roster. I don't think there's a lot of people just flat out just annoy the hell out of me every time they're on screen. It's funny because I'd send the two guys up, but I think people would think I was being too mean to those guys, so I will not send them up.
Oh yeah, Juice.
Got to send him up.
Yeah,
got to send Juice Robinson up at this point.
Got to send Juice back. Send him back home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming